Senator Ted Cruz is seeing a historic surge in Iowa and upsetting the Donald Trump apple cart. A new Des Moines Register Bloomberg poll has him 10 points ahead of Trump. Cruz has surged 21 points since the last poll was taken in October. Cruz has been siphoning off support from one-time frontrunner Ben Carson, now in third place. But Trump was quick to dismiss the poll even before it was out.
I'm leading in virtually every state. I'm leading in Iowa, although a Des Moines Register does a poll, and I'm sure that'll be negative when they announce their poll.
But when you say that they're kidding themselves, meaning what?
They're kidding themselves. I'm going to win. I think I'm going to win. Yeah.
Ann Selzer is president of Selzer and Company. She led the polling for the Des Moines Register Bloomberg Politics Iowa poll. It's good to see you, Ann. Trump's campaign people have said that yours is a biased media outlet and shouldn't be taken too seriously, that the history of your polling is rated the worst. Any reason to discount your numbers?
Well, the history of our polling operation, far from being rated the worst, has been rated one of the best in the country by 538.com, which did an analysis of over 300 polling firms looking at their accuracy in pre-election polls. They awarded 3 A+. We were awarded one of those. So our polling methodology is designed to be unbiased. It's designed to be scientific. It's designed to be our closest shot at telling the truth about what's happening in the electorate right now.
Okay, so with that out of the way, can I ask you what's behind this impressive surge by Ted Cruz?
You know, it is quite the surge. First of all, this is very dramatic. We looked at 5 caucus seasons and never saw as big a jump poll to poll for any other candidate. 21 points is unprecedented. What's behind it is clearly Ben Carson kind of rolling down a hill a little bit, that people are finding that he might not have the strength that they thought he had to really stand up as their president. So he's dropped precipitously. Donald Trump is actually up 2 points from the last poll we took in October. What I see happening with Ted Cruz is that he's doing the groundwork, he's making the connections, he's working the constituencies that matter a lot in Iowa. He leads by even a higher percentage among people who consider themselves evangelical conservatives. He got a couple of key endorsements, so he's put the pieces of the puzzle in place, and I think that led to his move.
Is there any sense when you're talking to the respondents for these surveys that Trump's success has somewhat camouflaged the far right-wing views of Ted Cruz, that he is very, very conservative himself?
Well, it's true that once somebody is a front runner, they are put under a different kind of microscope. So Ted Cruz now, as a leader, people will begin to hear news reports and other reports about who he is, what he has stood for in the past. So is it true that he was overshadowed by a lot of media attention for Donald Trump? Yes, and we'll see what that ends up meaning for him.
I think it's also worth talking about whose minds are already made up. In your poll, 66% of those surveyed, and these are all caucus goers, say, yeah, they could still be persuaded at this point.
That's right.
What does that mean for other candidates who are hopefully going to make a surge within their campaigns, that they think, oh, I still have a shot?
Well, they need look no farther than 2012, where Rick Santorum came from very low single digits to end up taking the win in the caucus. We've seen many interesting things happen. Keep in mind that no state looks at more candidates than Iowa. And so the job here really is to keep your mind open up until the very last minute. In our final poll right before the caucus, we often see a shift from day 1 to day 4. So it's a very volatile kind of political event.
And given that volatility, perhaps this question is too soon. Maybe I should ask it 2 days before the caucuses. But what kind of an indicator might Iowa be for the rest of the country? Because the last few go-arounds, we've not seen the winning Iowa candidate come away with the nomination.
They sometimes come away with delegates, and that can be important, and especially maybe even more important this year than the past, that they'll have something to work with at the convention. So it's not true that you dismiss all of Iowa. And the traditional law is there are 3 tickets out, that if you score top 1, top 2, top 3, then you're positioned well for the rest of the country. It makes the rest of the country sit up and take notice.
And it's so great of you to join us. Thank you for your time today.
My pleasure.